What's up, Sneaky Nation? SNEAKY here, back with all the news after week 3 of the preseason in our Los Angeles Crusaders franchise in season number 6, and it was a monster win for the Crusaders. Definitely the game we wanted to see from a lot of our backups. The first 2 preseason games really kind of had us worried about our bench, and I wasn't too sure what was going to happen if one of our starters were to go down with an injury, but everybody across the board stepped up in game number 3, from offense to defense. Every single position played great. There wasn't a single weakness on the entire team, and unbelievable performance. I definitely was not expecting it. We saw McElroy, our rookie quarterback, look incredible. The young wide receiver who we just signed came out, Baker, and had over 100 yards, 2 huge touchdown passes, something that we definitely want to add to our game, to the point where I almost want to find a way to get him on the field. But where do we do it at? You know, our wide receivers are stacked as it is. It's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have, and I don't want it to be a one-game wonder thing, and that is a possibility. So we're definitely going to need to see them step up in game 4 as well. It doesn't need to be like a one-game thing. So I'm really hoping to see a lot of improvements from everybody once again. But overall, how could I not be pleased with what we just saw? Unbelievable performance from everybody. McElroy, man, looked incredible. Still doesn't have that mobility I like. Stuart Denny is our guy before that conversation gets going. Stuart Denny is our guy, but I am incredibly impressed with McElroy. Here is the difficult part. I don't want to cut anybody. I don't. You know what? We'll probably cut Marmarosa. Well, I don't know. We're going into the season with 3 quarterbacks, and I guess I need to make 2 cuts now. McElroy, with that last game, he pretty much solidified his spot as the backup quarterback. Marmarosa played solid for us in the past, but he really kind of let us down when we needed. Snelling is really young, and I like him and I want him, but we're going to roll the dice with Sherman. He's a little bit older, but he's a rookie. So there's 2 of the 4 spots we need to cut, but really I need to cut another spot because we need to sign another wide receiver with Mendenhall out. You know, Moats, man, impressed me in that last game. Moats has gotten better with every single game so far. You know, obviously I'm a little bit biased as it is. I love my Appalachian State players, but he really did impress me. Cason Dobbs let us down a lot last season. We really had to rely on him for a few games, and he was not getting it done. And that cost us a few losses, which in turn potentially kept us out of the playoffs. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, do I think Moats is going to step in that same situation to do better? Probably not. No, I don't. And I don't really want to move forward with 4 guys here, but it's something to think about. Price is a good young player, but do we really need 2 fullbacks? No, we don't, especially when I'm not even able to use Chauncey Green as much as I want. We will release him. We really only need to make 1 more cut. 2 more. It needs to be 2 more. I don't want to go into the season with 4 running backs, but I don't want to cut any of these players. I don't know what to do yet. I don't know what to do. We might have to make a cut come next week. Obviously, I don't want to cut McCray. I don't want to cut Femi Francois. Don't want to cut Price, a fan favorite, or Dion Ware, who's had a solid preseason. It's difficult. Like, who do we cut? Roy Harris was arguably our best player in the last preseason game. You know what? Out of everybody on this list, I feel like Elijah Thornton is the one that has contributed the least. And I like him. I like him a lot. I like his speed. Obviously, now we have Bola Asante, who brings that speed from that right outside linebacker spot. Zeke Hickman's been solid for us. His speed is good. And again, Roy Harris just was probably one of our best defensive players in last week's game. I think the decision has to be Thornton, unfortunately, and it's a guy I was really excited about. I thought he was going to be our starter at the right outside linebacker spot, but I just haven't seen the production from him. Haven't seen anything from Payne or Bradley so far, or James. Really, DESHAE Campbell has stepped it up big time in the last 2 preseason games. He looked really bad in the first one, But the last two, he has been one of our star players. I'm very, very excited about what he has brought to the table. Again, we haven't seen too much from James, Payne, or Bradley. And I feel like this is quite a lot of players. I do need to sign somebody else. So I think what we might do is get rid of... Let's find out who's our best playmaker. Alright, so James is the best with man coverage. And if we look at the list, Bradley is the worst in all kinds of coverage aspects. Now, is he a better playmaker? He has better tackling than the other guys. In fact, he's one of our better tackling corners, period. Third, actually. But the question is, catch? No. You know what? He has the worst coverage, and he's not much of a playmaker. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to release Bradley. Didn't pan out like we wanted him to, ratings-wise, when we drafted him. And this gives us an opportunity to make another signing, and we need to. We need another wide receiver. Mendenhall's out. Granted, you know, in the preseason you play a lot of backup players, but we've seen Devin Golden lining up at wide receiver frequently throughout the preseason. And even though that wouldn't be the case in the regular season, I just don't like that it has come to that pretty much. So we can look at some speed guys. Well, I feel like we have a ton of speed. So maybe we should just find a solid guy who's going to catch the ball. But I want to get a young guy like Brian Hartline, great veteran. Not necessarily somebody I really want. Now, Jarvis Landry, younger, good catch. But look at this. Andy Berry. Ooh. Dixon's not a rookie. If Dixon was a rookie, I wouldn't have cared. But this guy, you know, 6'5", incredible catching. Let's see what his speed's like. His awareness is pretty bad. 87 catching. For a second-year player who's 6'5", you know, I'm pretty happy with that. Speed's not great, but it's not bad. It's actually better than everybody else on this list. Let's go ahead and roll with it. Let's give Andy Berry a shot. You know, it worked out well with our last signing. So we'll see if this makes a difference at all. I don't really think there's much else to go over, to be honest. Pretty short episode, as all the preseason ones are. Once we get into the regular season, things will be a lot more serious. Rosters. I do need to change the depth chart. Do I want to see McElroy again? You know, we do. So Denny's going to be on the bench. McElroy will play the first quarter, and then we'll see Sherman on the last three. That'll be his first real opportunity to show us what he has. Guys, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the final preseason game as we take on the New York Giants. Later.